Samrajya Sukham Trinavadvihaya Sandharayan Chivarachinavesham Ninindya Vedam Pashuhatanancha Dayamayang Tvang Pranatasmi Buddham Dayamayang Tvang Pranatasmi Buddham. I offer my salutation to Bhagavan Buddha, who is compassionate, who gave up all his kingdom and pleasures of life, accepted the dress of a monk, and declined against the killing of the animals, and love personified. My salutation goes to Buddha again and again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. It is nice to see you all in person after a long time. So today we'll be thinking about Buddha to Vivekananda, their contributions, and this Sangha, the organization. We know the goal of life is the realization of the truth. Call it God, call it Atman. Vedanta, we always talk about that. To redeem the world from suffering and to show the path of enlightenment, to guide humanity to reach a peace and perfection, that deathless bliss, God descends. And we find that that's why Buddhas and Christs and Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, they appear. They have no other purpose but for the redemption of the suffering humanity, for emancipation of all, and to take everyone into the state of perfect freedom. But this Sangha is another idea. Sangha means the order, the joining up together. The Sangha means the combination of similar-minded people, of those who are thinking alike in the highest level. We read the life of Buddha. All of us are acquainted so much. And we find that he wanted to find a way out of the sufferings of life. Suffering and to get out of the suffering. So how to get out of the suffering, he found out, and he laid that gift to the whole world for posterity, and the world is getting benefit of that for last over 2,500 years. And we find that in this current period of time, in the last 19th century, Sri Ramakrishna came and Vivekananda came, another Buddha, who also did the same thing and left for the posterity to reap the benefit of what they did. But this is not ordinary life. These are all established on the foundation of tremendous renunciation, tremendous austerities, tremendous search for God, which is impossible for ordinary people to perform. Its focus is so intense. Nothing matters in the world but God and God alone. Of course, when I talk about Buddhism, so God and God alone should not be said that way. But it can be said, it may not be said. But if we understand what is the word God means from a Vedantic perspective, the truth, that reality, reality, then it is okay. We may use this wrongly sometimes, but intention is this. So we find that Buddha saw wandering monks also. It is not a new idea in India, the renunciation and finding satisfaction or freedom in the path of ultimate detachment, which is called renunciation. It is going on for ages together. Even it is said that when the world was created, Sukha Sanandana Sanat Kumara Sanatana, God created in Hindu idea, that when this creation was done, God created two types of people. One, first 4 people were created. They are totally detached. And they don't understand anything but God. And they just left in the path of total renunciation. They are called these monks or sannyasins, Sukha Sanandan Sanat Kumara Sanatana. And then another Pravitti Marga, the general path through which is given to us all to go through the experience of life and get to know what is life and how we can make this life eternal life. So Buddha saw the 4 sin. We all know that seeing the suffering, that what is the suffering? Death, disease, old age. But there is a way, also a monk, whose face is beaming with joy, who is in life but beyond life. And that path he embraced himself, and he wanted to find the truth and went every nooks and corners to find who can show him the light after renouncing everything. And then he found for himself Atmadipo Bhavo. So that was his, even he denied the authority of gods and goddesses and ultimate authority of some superhuman personality. It is only to find who am I and what is that reality ultimately. What is the changing universe? What is the suffering going on? How can I get out? Say all Eightfold Path and Four Noble Truths, those are. But the point is that they lead a life of total renunciation and a sacrifice. And they attain freedom for themselves and for the good of humanity. And they set a, what you call Dharma Chakra, a wheel of dharma, or righteousness, an institution through which their sermons will guide the humanity for ages. That is more important. They don't come for themselves, they don't need for themselves. But they play as if they needed like us. They are also subject to suffering. They also want to get out of the suffering. So, but the major thing is that they don't need for themselves, but they create a Dharma Chakra, a circle of righteous behavior pattern where it will be like a machine. Someone will enter into that and purify and come out a product of freedom, total freedom. Buddha, another Buddha will be created. That's why Buddha said himself, Buddha is not a person, but Buddha is a summation of principle, a state. Bodhisattva is a state, and that state can be attained by anyone and everyone in the universe. That is the birthright. And forgetting that, when you look at the life, and it is all suffering and suffering and suffering. Suffering because of desire, desire because of karma, karma because of this. A wheel, it goes on continuously, and there is endless chain. So this British Dharma Chakra, as it started with, say, Buddha's time, we find the wandering monks were there in India. As I said, from the beginning of creation, there are a group of people who are mentally in that state. They don't find anything meaningful in life, so they want to find the truth and they give up everything in search of the highest. That is the monastic tradition. But it is not for all. But in Buddha, when he came, he found that there was reason, historical background, the reason of the condition of the society that time, all these made certain things which we find in the Buddhism. The main purpose is to get the freedom and to reach that state where there is no sorrow, no suffering, no death, no disease. That is the state. And this monastic order, we find how it generated, because it is not that they plan. We plan something to create. Or we make a 501c3 organization, no? For the good of humanity. But they don't make 501c3, but they themselves are 501c3. So what they do, they live a life and then come forward in the society, and people gather from all around and listen to the message. That is the way Buddhism grew. When he lived quite a long time after his bodhisattva, attaining that bodhisattva state. But he lived that life, but whenever he is going, people are attracted in the unique light of his purity, of his joyful, blissful state which radiates, and people with suffering coming to find their solution of life, putting questions and that. So people started Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. I am following the path of Buddha. I will take refuge in Buddha. And Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, that is gradually developing unconsciously and is going from one place to another. He is like a wandering monk. He also started that. And rich people, they used to have their garden, big garden, and Buddha will go there and then start preaching the sermon, people coming and finding their solace. And some of them are getting inspired to follow the path of Buddha. And in this way, a congregation is growing, and he is a wandering monk going from one place to another. And after some time, mostly after his passing away, it generated as an monastery, Buddhist monastery. And then it flourished when Ashok came and others in future it happened. But this was a mass movement to bring the highest philosophy to the masses. And then everyone followed the path of Buddha. Following the path of Buddha means giving up everything for to realize the truth and truth alone. So Buddha himself started the wheel in this way. He take a resolution that I shall sit in this asana. Let my body crumble into dust. Yahasane shushatu me shariram. This body, let it dry up. Just for searching in the truth, I am not going to get out of this seat. Yahasane shushatu me shariram. Tak asti mangshang, even the flesh, even the skin and the bone, they may separate out. What a resolution. Tagasti mangshang pralayancha jatu aprappa bodhim. Until and unless I realize that bodhi, the state of that perfection, the state of attainment, I'm not going to leave this state. And let the body die. So this type of resolution. That's why this organization, when Buddhas and Christs come, behind them there is a tremendous potential power, tremendous renunciation, tremendous sadhana, we call spiritual practice. That is the dynamo which generates energy. And that is the force. Any Sangha created without that renunciation, without the depth, without that earnestness, this cry for finding the truth in this life itself, now and here. That was the greatest teaching of Buddha. Whatever teaching other he gave, his own life was the teaching. And you see that whole organization came after that, following that path of renunciation. In early days, then when Buddhist monks, how much austerities they did. There was one cell is, how the cell is that? There will be one stone bed and a pillow, and there will be one niche in which there will be a lamp. And they come out, there will be a hall, where congregation, they will chant together, they will read together, they will meditate together, that type. And rest of the time, in their own cells. What a austerity! If someone gives me a place to live, whole life, what is the life now? You go, you can rest, but it's a stone bed. And you have a pillow, maybe stone pillow. And then, just come out, where do you go? Nowhere. It is a congregation hall. And there, people come in time and meditate and pray and chant together. This is life. One day is okay. Excitement maybe one day. 2 days, 3 days, whole life. For knowing the truth, this type of zeal has been injected by the life of Buddha in the Buddhistic ministry. That's why that potential energy which generated due to the tremendous renunciation and austerity, that this vibrant Buddhism still bringing the peace to millions of people in the world. But what happens again, when this spirit of renunciation, the spirit of austerity, when it goes down or decays, then there's the decline. And Buddha's contribution is that Buddha had a message, as Swami Vivekananda said, no? Buddha had a message for the East. And again, that Buddha came back in the form of Vivekananda. He said, I have a message for the West. And here also we find a parallel, if we find a parallel situation. Ramakrishna, a God man, he does not understand anything but God. And renunciation, unparalleled in the history. And so much God intoxication that the world vanished for him. And he had the vision, then see everywhere the divine. And now he was crying to give it to the posterity for the good of the world. Not any planned way, but only a simple urge, I have so much to give, let me give to whom? But could not find proper recipient. Those were all worldly minded, day and night, happy with the world. This message does not click there. Those who are really searching for the truth, tormented by the life's problems, and just fit candidate, they can absorb it. That's why Sri Ramakrishna collected his friends, you can say his entourage, who will preach the message to the world. And that was Swami Vivekananda was chosen among them. And we find that Sri Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar, he started his journey, finished his own purpose, and then collected these boys gradually, and they come occasionally, these young boys, pure in soul, pure in heart, no world and worldliness has entered into them. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was so keen about them. He used to cry for them, come, come, I cannot stay without you. This was the cry, and then we find that they gathered around Ramakrishna. And then we know that his throat cancer, as a result, what happened? Throat cancer started. Then you need somebody to, those who love, two types of people came to Ramakrishna. One type of people came, he is God, he says he is avatar, he is Paramahamsa. And he has his cancer, why he does not cure? He could have cured it, then he is a God. But what type of man? He is like us. So they left. They are in the peripheral people. And some fell in love with Ramakrishna, with his deep spirituality, the touch which gives them the vision of the infinite expanse of the divine. Permeated, that Lord permeated everywhere. Narendra was touched by Sri Ramakrishna, Dakshineshwar. And the whole world transformed from the matter to energy, to the spirit, to that bodhi state, with eyes open, seeing everywhere, with eyes closed, seeing everywhere. And that started, that they got attached to that spirit, And then we find that he moved to Calcutta to be close to these people who can come and visit him. And the devotees, mind it, not the monks only, but mostly the devotees also took equal share in this incarnation. That is a little uniqueness of this Ramakrishna Vivekananda order of monastery or monks. It is not monks only, devotees, you and we are together. This is the Sangha. This Sangha is prepared. Buddha's was monastic organization, it is monastery, mostly the monks. But here it is a mixture of these two. That was Swami Vivekananda created that idea. Now, Sri Ramakrishna moved to Calcutta. These boys started coming more and more. His condition became fatal, and then he had to move to Kasipur Garden House. And when he moved to Kasipur Garden House, health condition is deteriorating. But you see, it is a training ground for the future Ramakrishna movement, which will bring solace to the world for thousands of years. That was getting generated there. But Sri Ramakrishna is sick. And these boys gave up their school and studies, just totally dedicated themselves in the service of Sri Ramakrishna. And Noren being the leader of them, Vivekananda the leader of them, he is inspiring everyone. Hey, we'll have to get to realize everything, now and here, so long he is in the body. So Ramakrishna is in the second floor, and these boys in the ground floor, whenever no work, what they are doing? They are not going for merrymaking or, oh, I have worked hard, 8 hours duty in Ramakrishna's room, now let me go and sleep and do other things. They all started meditating day and night, and Noren inspiring them. Have it now, otherwise you will lose, you will not get it anymore. It is easy when environment is easy. And we find that the experience is, read this days of Kasipur with these monks, would-be monks, and the devotees. It's a tremendous story where spiritual energy was just it's accumulating in one place, as it were. And then the fatal days come, and those stories are so intense that it is difficult to think that human personalities can do so much austerity, so much practice, so much meditation, so much profound absorption. It's impossible. So now we find Ramakrishna left. And then Ramakrishna left, what happened? Then before leaving, Ramakrishna gave the verdict or his order. Noren Shikkhe Dive. Noren will teach. And he will give a roaring call to inside and outside, everywhere. That means in India and also abroad. But that time who knew? Ramakrishna one day asked him to touch him. And he was exhausted, and then he opened the eyes and saw Ramakrishna is in tears. And then he said, what has happened? Well, Noren, whatever I had, all my austerities, all my results of my spiritual practices, I have exhausted in you. You will do great work for the redemption of the world with this power. But you still see, Ramakrishna passed away. This is a story. Then these boys all scattered, like a wandering monk, they have no home. And then Ramakrishna came into Vivekananda's vision to assemble all these boys together and repeat the name of Lord and do intense sadhana. There we find again these holy organizations are spiritual organizations. This Ramakrishna order is a spiritual organization. We are proud that we belong to this organization where there is nothing but deep spirituality. That is the foundation of this. And we find that after passing away, all are wandering around. Holy Mother also said, I cried, how much I cried to Sri Ramakrishna. You came and you left for this purpose. And these boys are all wandering around without home, and I cannot bear with this. Make a place for them. That was Holy Mother's prayer. And then, after passing away of Ramakrishna, these boys went back to their home, and those few, 2 or 3 of them have no place to go, so they started hanging on here and there like a homeless person. And then, with the help of one devotee, Suresh Mitra, he used to, Thakur Ramakrishna came into their vision also, and he inspired him to give some money, monetary help, so to rent a house, to make a place. And Vivekananda and they meeting together started that monastery, Ramakrishna Monastery, where first monastery is Boranagar in Calcutta. Now that center is now taken up by the Ramakrishna order. It was a big house of a landlord's house. It was dilapidated, and because it was haunted house, so they can get in cheap price. Rent was very affordable rent. So, but these 16 boys, they gathered there, and you read that story. It has come out in the early days of Belur Monastery. There is a book available. Swami Prabhananda, one of our historian Swami and also Vice President now, he wrote that. It is really to, if you go through this, the austerity, they started what? They started their austerity and spiritual practice, forgetting the world. They have nothing of the world. But they are doing this. But mind it, it is in association with the household devotees who came to Ramakrishna, like M, the master, Girish Ghosh, the dramatist and actor and producer. Then came the Suren Mittir and other who were very close to Sri Ramakrishna. They started visiting, and they tried to find here peace, talking about God. And they described that they forgot about their food, about their any basic needs of life. They have how much austerity, they are engaged in day and night. There is a competition. Yes, there is we compete for other things. These boys are competing for each other. One day Sarat Maharaj is telling, Sarat Maharaj is Swami Sarvadevananda, who came in this country and was in New York and stayed for, he also went to England and then went back again for other Swamiji's call. But he came here. He is saying that this Latu, the Adbhutananda, who has unlettered boy, has nothing to, no philosophy, no fine arts, any music. Swami Vivekananda says he is the miracle of Ramakrishna. Why? We are educated boys, we can spend our time. If we cannot meditate, we can sing some song. We can read some book. We can discuss some philosophical thing. But this Latu was an unlettered boy. He never go to school, even don't know how to write his own name. That boy, Swami Sarvadevananda is telling Sarat Maharaj that this rascal, Latu, is excelling us. Whole night he's doing japa. His whole night, every night he's going on, doing on the beads, and we are sleeping. We shall have to beat him. That means they are inspiring each other only for God and God and God. What about the food? We complain about our food so much. But what about their food? Their food, someday there is nothing. Only rice, boiled rice. Even to add some salt. Swami Vivekananda describes in one place. They used to sit around, boil rice and sit around, no? Around in a dump in one spot, all rice, and whoever is there sitting around, and they have some chili, hot chili, and mixed with salt, and they will take a little bit of that and sprinkle on the rice and gulp it. They have not the question of any vegetable, not the question of any delicious food, nothing. Even the minimum rice, that too sometimes they said, we have no salt to add with it. They have no plate to put this rice. So they used to go in the nearby garden and bring some leaf, big leaf, which have a big leaf, and that too there was a gardener. And he will chase them, hey, and then they ran away. They pull some of the leaves, and some is very itching. You put something and go into the throat, your throat started itching. Such was the poverty level. There is no wearing clothes. Any devotee comes, any householder devotee comes, they will have to have one cloth hanging and one chador hanging, no? And they will be wearing the, what is called the lion cloth. And that is their dress inside. They are meditating, praying and doing this. And when somebody comes, say from Calcutta, some devotee has come to meet them, so he will go use that cloth and dress up and meet that guy. And after, when he is done, he will put back the same cloth there. If someone comes, again someone will do the same way. That was the level of austerity. But they didn't mind anything. God was the crying call of their heart. So that was, they were intoxicated into that type of experience. Sometimes it happened. One day story, there was nothing even to get what, only few morsels of rice was there. So Swami Soshi Maharaj, Swami Ramakrishnananda, he was then there. He was to take care of Sri Ramakrishna's worship and this and that. Swamiji didn't like it too much because too much rituals. But anyhow, he was thinking Ramakrishna is here living. Because after his passing away, his photo and his used clothing were kept in that Baranagar monastery. And they were around that, as if in the presence of Ramakrishna they are doing austerity practices and meditation. That way they were sitting there, and one day they found nothing is available. So all the young boys, about 15 to 16, sometimes 12, they are all sitting there. And anyhow, this Sarat, Sosi, that young Ramakrishnananda, he collected and he boiled that rice and just offered it to Ramakrishna. This is the food today, take. And then he made 16 round balls. You make balls of rice, pressing like that. And these boys, others are steeped in meditation. He is saying, come, take something to eat. Oh, they don't care even. The whole day they are fasting, nothing, no food. But he goes and then pushes them in their mouth, one round ball. That is the what called lunch, supper and breakfast and snacks, everything for the day. So this is the point. And they forgot the world. Even that's why it is said, Swami Vivekananda said, remember those days, the austerity we did, even the ghosts will run away from us to see such austerity. For what? For God realization. And that's why this Sangha, this Ramakrishna order, as Buddhistic Sangha, Buddha did that. And who came in Buddha's time, they are all inspired by the living presence of Buddha. The total renunciation and total intoxication into austere practices of the Eightfold Path and other teachings what has been given, make them the stalwarts in spiritual life, and that is the generating force of the whole Buddhistic movement. So here in the Ramakrishna movement also, we find that these few selected people, they were so intoxicated in knowing the truth and just overcoming all the obstacles, forgetting their minimum needs of the body. Whole night time it was infested with insects and infested with what you call the mosquitoes. India is special those days, no? But they don't care. The whole body is covered with mosquitoes sometimes. One day, Swami Vivekananda and Girish Ghosh both were meditating, no? And after a few minutes, Girish could not sit. So much mosquitoes pressing this way, that way, like that. How much you can drive out there, so many number, they just sit here, there, everywhere. And suddenly he found Naren. He's covered with a blanket, as it were. All over mosquitoes. But he's oblivious of that mosquito bite or anything. That's why they used to get so much malarial infection and other things, much more. But the point is that they ignored everything. And God realization was the call. And that tradition, afterwards this Ramakrishna movement started in Baranagar monastery, moved to next place. It became more impossible to live in that house. It is breaking, cracking, so dilapidated. So moved to the next Alam Bazar, very close, 2 miles or 1 mile away. And then they started again the same spiritual practices there. And that is the way it started. And then Swami Vivekananda came here and went back and gave the inspiration. And he gave a new turn to the monastic order. Buddhism was also turned from one direction, God direction, to humankind. The direction was previous Buddha, prior to Buddha. India was worshipping gods and goddesses and giving what you call the oblation and home of fire and these sacrifice, animal sacrifice, that. That became the dominant religion. He turned it to human suffering, and whole focus went into redemption of the people who are in the world from their suffering. And that get this great movement of monastic tradition as also lay devotees was to support them. That was the way. But now, here, Swami Vivekananda started this. Actually, who started this? People say, we'll say Vivekananda, but in actuality we see that history, background, Ramakrishna started this organization. Not, as I say, not by official meeting, by his life, as Buddha started this. So here, little speciality is there. Here, this organization was created not only looking towards the human benefit or perfection, but to serve them, to see God in them. God the transcendental is to be looked upon, God the immanent. This is a new contribution in the monastic tradition of India, which was little bit manifested in Buddhism, but in Ramakrishna tradition, this order in which we belong, that is dominant side of it is to serve everyone, to see Lord Shiva in Jiva, God in human being. Sarvam Khallidam Brahma, everything is permeated Brahman. Therefore, whatever we do, serve that. Don't ignore this side. That's why twin ideal, Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha, this ideal has been established by Vivekananda with the spirit of Sri Ramakrishna. But that was very great departure from the tradition. Monks will be going from, even today, you can go to India and find, we also enjoy that type of life, but the Sangha does not allow us long to enjoy that, no. Wandering monks, they go from one place to another, bake some little food, and do their own sadhana, spiritual practice. And they preach. If anyone asks some question, spiritual question, they give their counseling. But this Ramakrishna order has been totally pulled out of the tradition and cast into new mold of Ramakrishna. That is, God realization is the goal, but how? It will be equally philosophic, it will be equally devotional, it will be equally like selfless, but selfless to the extent, not selfless Selflessness is not enough. It is seeing God to serve living gods. That was the contribution. That's why when this was started, Swami Vivekananda, who is the leader or who is the pioneer, had to face so much challenges. Even in our order also. Other disciples, no? Ramakrishna's other disciples, they were confused when Swami Vivekananda went back and started this type, serve the poor, serve the homeless, serve the orphans, whoever is suffering in any physical level, mental level, emotional level, intellectual level, serve in all levels. That is the uniqueness of this order. And it was very misunderstood at the beginning. Because Ramakrishna said, realize God, let the world go. And he says, no, forget your self-realization, serve God in human being. If this life goes on in vain, let it go. That's the message of Vivekananda. Say, you forget yourself, serve others and die. I love you so much, but I want to see you die doing good to others. So this is a total departure from the traditional monastic order. And that's why Swami Vivekananda faced much opposition from our monks also, our own order, even direct disciples. And then he casually understood, no, what Swamiji is giving, Ramakrishna's instruction, what Ramakrishna taught him, closing the door and gave him special instruction. That's why he said, when someone comes, that you went to West and you are creating all this organization idea is bringing from there. Then Swamiji said, oh, no, it is Sri Ramakrishna who taught me everything. I am not doing anything excepting what he told me to do. And this organization is only for the benefit of others in any level, from starting from that go to the hungry people who is searching for food, serve them food, who is a victim of some calamity, go and serve them, who is in need of education, give them education, who is in need of health care, go serve them, whoever is needed in psychological level, go do counseling, in intellectual level, go talk philosophy, go to the spiritual level to redeem everyone in every level. So this uniqueness of this order is really continuing, and it will continue, but we have to all remember it is our joint responsibility for the monks as also for the devotees. Renunciation, detachment, love for the ideal, love for God is the fundamental thing which will make it move on and nurture it more and more. When this renunciation idea, when this detachment idea, when this service idea, the idea of serving God in man will go away, and only will think, I am working, you become a worker. Everyone is working. And see, every work is creating bitterness. But service to God will never bring bitterness. If you can meditate 1 hour more, you are not bitter, you will be more sweet. If you can serve God in someone, seeing He is God, He is standing there and is serving that, it will make life more soothing and joyful, and a tangible connection with the divine will come. God is not in the heaven. God is not in the stars and galaxies beyond. God is here and now in every human being, every subhuman, every creature, everywhere. So that is the huge contribution of this Vedanta movement. And we should be, as I said, we should be very much responsible to carry out this great mission. This mission was started by Swami Vivekananda, creating a Ramakrishna mission. Ramakrishna Math is the monastic group, but Ramakrishna mission is the group where monastics are working in the mission. At the same time, the devotees are having the perfect connection with them together. That's why he called a meeting at Balaram Bose's house after he went back from this country May 1, 1897. And 125 years now passed, no? So it is this is growing. It is the devotees and the monks jointly together taking the same philosophy of spiritualizing our life and serving God in man, God in woman, God in the nature, God in everywhere, and to bring a new society, a global society, which will be, actually that's why it is, Swami Vivekananda said in one place, we are sect, but sectless sect. We are sect, because we have certain philosophy. That's why you call sect, no? We have certain philosophy, and this philosophy is the criterion of this group of people. That's called sect. But when you say sect, immediately you limit its potentiality of being universal. But here, universality plus this sect, special sect, that is the uniqueness of this Ramakrishna order. Sect-less sect. You may say Vedanta is a sect, Vedanta group of people. Oh, where do you belong? I go to Vedanta. Naturally, Vedanta means you are some group of people with some philosophy. But this is a philosophy which is beyond all philosophy. It is broad like that of the what you call it, deep like that of ocean, broad like that of the sky. No. So that should be, therefore it is all embracing. It matters little what religion you belong, which country you belong, which caste you belong, which level of education you have, or what is your financial situation. Matters little. Take this philosophy of love for God and divinizing our own life and being an example to others for reaching that goal. And it is possible to show that this is possible in this very life, in here itself. If we can make this new movement, this Ramakrishna movement, which is the new order of monks we call, but this order of monks are most modern monks, not like that of the wandering monks. And Swami Vivekananda gave this idea. You are meditating, you are doing, that's a good thing. But you are going to maintain yourself as a wandering monk, you are going to the devotees, and they are sustaining you. You are spending hours to get some, what is called bhiksha, or with a begging bowl, you go to collect some food. You need some other material need also. Why not give back to the society? That same time, you invest in doing good to others, giving solace to people, to help them to get out of their sufferings and pain. So be a participant into that, and at the same time develop your own spirituality and make your life blissful. So this is the order, a special order, Buddha. And that's why we find not only in Hinduism, you see, if you go to the Jainism, if you go to the Christianity, early monks, look at that, Jesus Christ and his companions started there. How austere, how dedicated they were for one pointed goal of life. But when prosperity comes, money comes, wealth comes, king started supporting, naturally the downfall comes. And this another point I will have to, just before I close, this order also unique in that respect. Sangha, Buddha, Sangha and Vivekananda, here we find that this Sangha, Buddha created a monastic order, and along with that there was women's wing also. And this is also, Swami Vivekananda thought of that. First, Buddha was not very agreeable to accept the women in the same order, but anyhow, with Ananda's request and others, it happened. But that became a cause of the downfall of Buddhism, because it should not be in the same umbrella. It should have a separate identity. Anyhow, Vivekananda, the second Buddha, understood this, and this time he was careful, and he organized, he said that it is centering around Holy Mother, there will be a women's organization. And that is Sarvada Math. You go to India, and here we are also Sarvada Math. This is in one sense, because this is earlier than that. We are proud to think that we are 75th year now of our convent here. So 75 years, this renouncing ladies can dedicate their life for God realization. There is a scope has come. And that is it. And in India, Sarada Mata is a totally organized religion where they are deeply spiritual in their practice and following all the principle of service to every humanity in their own level capacity in the field of education, in the field of technical education, in the field of service to the people, as much they can go and do. So this is parallel organization going on, not under the control of any man. In Christianity, in Buddhism even today, men will be in the top. Even women may be senior, but they will have to be under the men folks. So this is the organization where Swami Vivekananda wanted independent and give them the total power, and they will know what to do best by themselves, not to be dominated by other. So that is the uniqueness of modern the Vedanta movement as envisioned and given by Vivekananda. So that's why it is a wonderful idea to think about that, and we have to go to the root of both the Sangha, organization, thinking where is the power, where is the generating force? It is all renunciation. It is all tyago. Upanishad says, tyage reiko amritattamano suhu. Only by tyago one can attain immortality. So that tyago means detachment. And that detachment has been very clearly mentioned by Sri Ramakrishna and his this movement, teaching our devotees. Yeah, you are not to give up your home. And Ramakrishna started that organization also with Gulab Ma, Jogin Ma, with other ladies, who came to Sri Ramakrishna. So this is a unique responsibility, all unique organization belonging to the unique ideas to develop our life, to follow the message of Sri Ramakrishna, this idea of Buddha, which stands for Bodhisattva, and Vivekananda, to have that experience of the truth. And the same is like a Buddha in second form. So let us pray to have some such experience in our life, and we are fortunate to be a part into this movement, and our focus should be not on miracle, not on other things, quick fix, darshan, light, vision. Yeah, that will be okay if it comes. But if it does not come, there is nothing wrong. Rather, we expand our heart. And for whom? For the same reality who is here, the same reality there. Not compassion, not I am superior, not doing charity, but it is all serving the self in all, and seeing God here, seeing God here. So in both ways, that is the uniqueness of our order. So pray that we become fit instrument in their hands. Thank you.
He left the treasures of this world. His heart filled up with compassion. He saw that everything does change in its own time and its own fashion. Golden eyes of peace, golden mind of truth. saw the one in many faces. He felt the love in many hearts, emerging light in many places. That one same light in every heart. Golden eyes of peace, golden mind of truth, golden heart of love unto all creatures, great and small, unto all creatures, one and all, unto all creatures, great and small, unto
One announcement first. Next Wednesday, our Swami from Canada, he will be coming here and he will be giving a talk in the evening. And the gospel class time is 5 o'clock probably, the same time. So, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, there will be Swami Kripa Mayananda, the head of our Toronto Center, will be here and he will be speaking. Om Tvang Deshikendram Paramam Pavitram Vishwaswapalang Madhuram Yatindram Hitaya Nrinam Naramurtimantam Vivekwanandamahang Namami Namasri Rajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. To that teacher of teachers, supremely pure, the guardian of the world, the sweet one, the prince of yogins, who took up the human form for the good of humanity, to that Vivekananda I prostrate myself. Salutations to the king of renouncers and controller of passions, the sage Vivekananda, who is Satchidananda, existence, consciousness and bliss absolute, the spiritual preceptor, the remover of distress. I salute him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we can have some question answer if you, whoever want to come back, we can spend some time afterwards. It is good to see you all. But after so many days, when they meet, naturally, everyone is engrossed in talking. Yeah.
It's so wonderful to have you back here.
Yes, good. It's also my joy. Now we will see every month.
So I have a question. Swamiji. Just something I've thought about from time to time. When the choir sang the opening song today for Sangha, some of the words in the song said were praising the life of Lord Buddha as a man who ascended to the status of an avatar. And in your closing prayer, you
Turn the opposite way.
exactly. So what is
Two perspective.
yeah? And so what is the dominant perspective? Perspective.
Right. On this side, perspective, that we are human, he came like a human, he was like a prince, he has his normal life and all this, but a questioning came in his life, and that's why he himself did not support all this idea of worship, because people unnecessarily forget the principle and they start worshipping the person. That's why Swami Vivekananda also, that when I die, don't wave incense around me. I mean, jokingly. That's why Belur Math, when his temple is made, there is only what you call bust. There is no full posture of Swamiji is not there. So now you can, because people will forget the principle. So it is great in one sense if we can take that. If you say he is God, come down, so we have nothing to, he is God, he does everything for himself. He knows everything. He is making a fun of it, he is making a show of it. That's why if you read the Great Master or the Divine Play, that book, there Swami Sarvadevananda has discussed. They call Deva Manav. In them, the Deva, divine, and Manav, the human, those two make a blending of it. And it is unique, because if I know that he was like me, starting point, I have hope. I have so much of failures. But he showed the path. Let me follow his path. I will be a Buddha. That's why he said Buddha is a state to be attained. So we can raise our consciousness from this state to that state to that state to that state. Okay? And if we take that side, is a devotional person, oh, God has come down for redeeming me. And whole Christianity stands on that, no? He has done everything for me. You should be grateful. You should think day and night of him. So this is the benefit of this side. And this, the rational side is this side. So both ways, yeah, it is Ramakrishna said, it is like candy. You can eat the candy, keeping it on the top of the tongue, under the tongue, on the right side, on the left side, it will taste the same. So the spirit is there.
You mentioned the 8 limbs of yoga. Does the Vedanta also practice the 8 limbs of yoga?
No, Buddha's way of 8 steps to yoga. You say truthfulness, honesty, that what are the right way of living. So these are the following the normal principles of life. If we follow that, our character will be built, or to restrain on our senses will come, and mastery will come. I want to do this, no, I cannot do this because it is not right. I cannot speak this, oh, I cannot. So you are restraining your speech, restraining your vision. And that is a Vedanta you are doing. Control of your senses you are doing. Not allowing the mind to go wherever it was to willing to go. But Vedanta has specific requisition. They say Viveka Vairagya, Samadhi Sataka Sampatti, Mukha. Viveka, you analyze permanent, impermanent. That is the criterion every day. If I know it is impermanent, my attention will not go for those things which are momentary. Mind will turn towards what is permanent. So Viveka. Not only that, if I know it is bad, I should not hang on to that. So I should give up that. Vairagya means detach. It is there. The ice cream is there. I can take, but I am borderline. So I should not. That should be the next step. If one only analyze, it has so much calorie, this is this, that will not do. Second step is important. Viveka Vairagya. You say, no, it's good, bad for me. That means you are making your self-mastery. Viveka Vairagya. Samadhi Sataka Sampatti. Collects 6 treasures. Sama means the mental calmness, serenity. Dhamma, control of the sense organs. So, Titiksha. Titiksha means austerity for God. Do japa, do meditation. Spend some time for that. Find out some time from your busy schedule. These are austerity. If not so easy. My body is lying, after get tired, I want to sleep. No, I have not finished my prayer. I will do this now. And then go to sleep. Austerity. Today I will fast. It is fasting day. Not for the health. For health issue, people may fast. But for spiritual issue, today is the holy birthday of Sri Ramakrishna. I will fast today and take more of his name. I will meditate more. Even I will not spend that time which I spend for having cooking and this and that. Today I will fast. No? So these are austerities. It purifies the mind and body also. So Sama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Upurati. Shraddha. Shraddha means faith and trust in the scripture and in your Guru's words. Shraddha, Samadha, and then perfect, seeing the sameness in others. Try to have that feeling of seeing the same in others. So, Sama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Upurati, Shraddha, Samadha. These are the 6 treasures we have to acquire in our day-to-day life. It is like 8-fold path in a brief, in essence, you can say. The teaching of all the scriptures will be almost same, in language differently, but main thing to detach and to control. Normally our eyes pulls us into that direction, ear that direction. That's why you have no control. But when we recognize, no, it's not good. No, this is not the right path. It's not the right path. It's not the dharmic path. Here we are saying, no, it is impermanent. It is permanent. You can use that language also in Buddhism, but it is the way we to understand the main core teaching is the same. It is capsuled in different capsule forms, presentation. So, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Sataka Sampatti, Mumukshatva, and desire. Mumuksha means desire to know. I want to know the truth. How can I get there? How can I reach in this life? In my day-to-day life, I don't see God anywhere. And you are saying seeing God everywhere. Just opposite. I am seeing this as reality. You are saying, no, this is all apparent. This is all temporary. How can I reach that? There comes your prayer. There comes, in Vedanta we will say, we take all the good of all aspects of spirituality. We utilize it. But those who are only one-pointed are bhakta. You cannot do bhakti whole day. You are you are a meditator, you are following the path of meditation only. How long you will meditate? What is your time? 24 hours. You have duty, other duty, you have to talk, interact, you go to office. Where is your meditation? So you cannot do 24 hours. But spiritual life should be 24 hours. So you do sit in the morning and meditate, the same reality what you meditated. With eyes open, you go to your karma yoga, make it karma yoga. You are going there, you are serving, as we said about serving God in that person. It is not niskama, it is much higher sadhana. It is practical Vedanta. No? So seeing God, and if you can do a little bit of practice, tremendous spiritual benefit comes. If you are to cook every day, thankless job. Huh? But if you think, I am cooking for my beloved Lord, you get energy, a fresh energy. And that work does not appear to be work. It becomes a satisfying thing, and as like meditation. So karma, it is to be done in a spirit, different spirit. That's why Vedanta teachers take that advantage of. And particularly Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta teaches us that. Use that, then your work is not going into waste. Normally we think, my 24 hours, where do I get meditation? My spiritual life is gone. It's a wrong idea. 24 hours spiritual life, you are making spiritual life, but you are not recognizing that. Why not take that aspect of life, that every action I do, it is an offering to God. If we pluck flowers and offer there, it becomes puja. When you collect all grocery things and cook in a pot and pan and offer, why not offer it to God? This is a flower offering. What is the difference between these two? Because we are not trained to think in this line, that's why it makes a difference. But that is called practice, that's called sadhana, that's called spiritual practice. And that means I am training my mind in this way, that I am serving God. Okay, now you have got some time, you try, but you forget all the time. I wanted to offer everything to God, but whole day I forgot 3 hours. Now I remember. People talk repenting, I forgot 3 hours. I forgot 4 hours. No, start then. Yes, I forgot. Oh Lord, whatever I have done up to this 3 hour, forgetting you, I offer it to you. Just transfer that time. You can bank transfer. You can keep your few checks with you. Instant check, you can do that. Now came and now give. And if you forget, okay, 10 checks have been accumulated there and deposited at a time. Okay, now I did. So God does not want all these regulations. And this process, then our karma becomes an upasana. No? So what a great benefit. And then when I fail, I'll say, oh Lord, please help me so that I can remember to transfer everything to you. So that I can remember you are in my heart. You are always guiding me, but I don't recognize that. No? If someone tells you something, but your mind is engaged in another, will you listen to that, what instruction is given? No. Similarly, God is always calling here, sitting here. I will realize God. When shall I realize God? Where shall I find Him? As if He is hiding in some cave or in some distant star, sitting somewhere. He is here in every pulsation of my heart. He is there. Without this, heart palpitation stop. With my every vision, in every hearing, that consciousness is there, that is allowing me to feel that I am hearing, I am talking, I am seeing, I am feeling pain, I am feeling joy. All these are there is because of that consciousness. So He is here as consciousness. So try to remember. I cannot do, oh Lord, please help me, I am your child. Devotion, take advantage of that. We sometimes feel helpless. In life we do so many things, but some point comes when we feel that we are helpless. I cannot do anything more. Then surrender and say, please give me power, give me strength, so that I can think of you more strongly, more powerfully. Do that. So, and what analyze? Whatever you do, failure or success at the end of the day. So failure is not failure, success is not success. These are all happenings of incidents of life. Unchanging absolute is the reality. Do that thinking, Vedanta thinking. That everything is all in the change, unchanging, there is something which does not change. So make all the four aspects of our personality, emotional aspect, understanding, intellectual aspect, and then your active aspect, and your, what will be the other one? Discriminating aspect, no? So use this, all the faculties which we have for God. Ramakrishna says, turn everything towards Him. So what happens? We will be better worker, because if I know I am doing for the Lord, that work will be the best and perfect work. Haphazard work will be there. If it is done, I am doing for you. It matters little. This way or that way, little difference is nothing. But when I know I am doing for God, naturally, what will you do? You will do it with most perfection. The best possible way we will do. So work will be better. Relationship will be better. Because I am not working for my husband or my wife or my child or my mom or this. I am serving God, God, God. So their relationship, respectful, loving, respectful relationship will grow. In family life it will be, in community life it will be, in social life it will be there. Better people will come out of that. So if we think in this way, all the four yogas, when we are blended into our life, then that's a perfect life, and quick success comes, because 24 hours is engaged in service to God only. Not that I sat in the morning 10 minutes, I had no time, I'll have to run for catching the plane, I could not sit for meditation, I lost my meditation today. Why are you repenting? Why are you driving? Why do I not repeat the mantra? When you are in the plane, why not think of Him? All the moment. You are cooking, why not think He is here sitting, and with His power your hand is moving and you are cooking pots and pans, all this. So how to connect with God? Not that God is away, but to bring our awareness we are doing all this, not that this will bring God to me. God is already there. But He is standing here, sitting here, but I don't recognize, I don't look at that. Here is a sign, I am looking at this side, I don't look at the sign. And then I say, oh, God is farther away, when shall I go, when shall I... Turn your eyes, see, you're sitting there. Turn here. Paranchikhani Bhaktinat, the senses, Kathopanishad. It says that all the senses are focused outside. Turn it inside. Just turn the camera, Nowadays you do turn the camera, selfie, you can take, or you turn the other way, the other. So only we have taken enough picture for outside. We have never done a selfie. So we can do little selfie every now and then. So that will be the best thing, easy. But we have to practice. Don't think because I am discussing, I am successful. If you are successful, then you are a realized soul. Because I am not, that I am a student. So I struggle. And if we find joy, I will do it more. So, sincere practice will do that. Yes.
When you want to work in a big corporation and from starting of the day, you wake up and you do your prayer, your sadhana, then you go to work, you spend 8, 9, 10 hours, and then you give your best of best. And then even with the result-oriented, it is karma yoga. If you don't even expect the result, but you are doing your best, even after that, how you focus on supreme when
Why not? When
chaotic things happening, office politics, manager politics, and all this, how to avoid
No. You have to know there will be politics. There will be office politics. You are taking the premises because I am spiritual and I go to the office, all will be like a holy people. They will be always fighting who will be cheating whom and who can get the position, high position, who can squeeze the work, 20 hours work, paying them 10 hours. Otherwise you go, will find another person. You are to know, being in that situation, use your practical sense. And spiritual sense is this inside. What I talked about, it is a spiritual attitude. But external world will not change because I am trying to be a good man or a spiritual man. No. Rather, those things will be more for people who are trying to be spiritual, because that is a harder test. But we should not be depressed for that. It is a challenge. Let us take challenge. Swami Vivekananda came in this country. What is his support? Who supported him? In India or in this country, who supported? He was in the street. He could not get his place to sleep the night in Chicago train, in a compartment. He has to lie down. And next morning, hungry, tired, no? And then walking, every door is shut down, even to drink water. He said, easy. He took that challenge. And depending on God, it opened up. Then Mrs. Hale came out of nowhere. He got exhausted, he thought, I will die here now. And he sat down in front of that church, it's still there, and he lay on the sidewalk. And he sat tired. And that lady who was rejected by all, even the restaurants, and he is trying to pay something, to eat something, because his skin is black, it is closed. And also that is the German people, thickly populated, they don't understand English, and he has no communication. So it's a terrible thing. Could you believe, alone in the foreign country, having no support, no money, carrying with not sufficient money. But how he did? That's the courage. That you have to face. There will be these good people, there will be bad. And this God sent. Mrs. Hale came, and out of nothing, she said, "Oh, are you an idiot in the parliament?" Yes. Oh, you are? I said, can you come and can you come to my room as a guest? I will keep you. Why she comes? God sent. And then I know the president of the parliament. Don't worry, I will make all arrangement. Out of nothing, he was taken to the house, palatial, 3-storied building, and then given shelter, nourishment, and become a family member of that Hale family. And then she took him to the parliament president and got introduced, and everything becomes smooth. But not smooth. Fight came. The Christian missionaries all fought against him. Even some Indian representative, Hindu representative was there, Pratap Majumdar, who was a friend in the early days in Calcutta. He became jealous. He said, he is a boy in Calcutta, I saw him. We used to go to Ramakrishna, and Pratap Majumdar also went to Ramakrishna. But he became so jealous, he started slandering the character of Swami Vivekananda. He is a man, self-made man, he has become a hero, and his character is bad. He's going to the women of this country and smoking and this and that. And this information going to India, it became most horrible reflection there. And in this country, Christian missionaries join their hand. They want to give him poison in Detroit. So, facing challenge is not for spirituality, is not for the coward people. Strong people. Strong not of ego, but strong on depending on the divine within. But problems will come. No one escapes. What Christ has to face, Christ God himself. These are the things to be faced in everyone's life, according to one's own karma or according to one's situation. This will come. But Vedanta teaches, be bold and face the truth. But keep your spiritual values inside. You need not have to tell everybody, unless you meet some people who understand you. And nothing miraculous. Spirituality is nothing miraculous. It will not drop from heaven. It will only come by persistent effort. And this scientific way of utilizing the 24 hours as much as we can, more and more and more and more. And when I cannot, pray. Oh Lord, you are here in my heart. Please guide me, hold me, show me the path. No? So jnana karma yoga bhakti. We have to, that's why Swamiji said in one place that one who has not blended these 4 yogas in his life, in his or her life, he or she is not cast into the mold of Ramakrishna. The mold, Ramakrishna is a mold. What is Ramakrishna mold? That is the harmony of all religion, harmony of all stages of experience, harmony of all conflicts and confusion. There is nothing. It is only viewing the truth from different perspectives. So all this and practice of the 4 yogas. Otherwise, world was all the time there. Islam is Islam, Christianity is Christianity, Buddhism is Buddhism, Jainism is Jainism. And it is the only Ramakrishna. Here is Buddhism, here is Christianity, here is Islam, here is everything is there. No rejection. And there should not be any rejection. That is the only time openly declared. It is the only ultimate truth is the one. I think okay. So hope to see you again. But I think if you can on Wednesday evening, 5 o'clock, 5 to 6 probably, that Swami will be speaking. And also another on the 18th of July, Swami Sarvadevananda will come. He will be speaking here. Yeah, too many. That time will be little, crowd will be little more. But anyway, outside there can be as much as is.